Hope you're doing well. It's not quite summer yet, but it's getting there. Everything's growing. Garden is looking good. Flowers are blooming, at least the ones that the squirrels haven't eaten yet. Either way, it's a good day. Look, I want to talk just a moment about the issue of how the world places shame on us. Paul says something in 2 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 12. He says, because of the gospel, for the cause of the gospel, I'm suffering these things. But he said, I'm not ashamed. Now, it's very interesting that he's going to talk about people that were ashamed of him. In other words, they wanted nothing to do with him because of the fact that he was imprisoned for the gospel. And if they would have identified with him, it probably would have put them in harm's way, so they didn't want to do that. Therefore, they they carried that shame. Shame was the measure by which they measured their relationship to him. He said, I'm not ashamed because I know the one in whom I believe. And I'm just absolutely convinced. I'm persuaded. I have been persuaded. The Holy Spirit has sealed this deal that he's able to keep or guard the thing, the deposit, my life's work, my investment in the gospel, until the day when I stand before the true judge, the one to whom I either should be blessed in the presence or ashamed in his presence. It speaks in 1 John 2:28 that we wouldn't have shame in the presence of God. There's going to be a day. Don't let the world heap shame on you today. And if someone in your life is, because and there are many that are, I think back of the prodigal son and the father. When the prodigal returned, the older brother was the one that was ashamed. He couldn't forget what had happened, that he had wasted his father's substance. But the father, there was no shame there. He was thankful. We can't extend love if we let the world tell us how we should feel about another person. That's where Christ comes in. Later on in this text, he's going to talk about Asia has refused to send care, forsaken him. They've turned away. Why? They were ashamed. Ashamed of the testimony that led to Paul being in prison, which was the gospel. But he says, bless the house of Onesiphorus, because you know what? They searched me out, and they weren't ashamed of my bonds. I just hope today, we live in a world where shame is just heaped on people left and right. And if we allow the world to dictate what we should or shouldn't be, how we should relate to people based on what they think of those people, then there'll be very few people for us to minister to. And ultimately, we ourselves will be abandoned. Thank God that Jesus Christ wasn't ashamed of us in our state. And that when we cried out to him, look, nothing that we've ever done, let's be honest, it's forgiven and gone in the mind of God. But have you forgotten what you did? I haven't forgotten what I've done. I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about me. And I'm ashamed of a life prior to Christ. But I'm so thankful that Jesus Christ didn't let that shame be the means by which he related to me, that he loved me even though. I want to have the Father's heart like the father in the parable of the prodigal son. I want to be thankful that they've returned. I want to see them in light of their heart attitude towards the relationship that they have with God. I certainly don't want what the older brother and the shame that he feels because this person wasted a riotous life. He wasted the goods of his Father. I don't want that to be the way I think of others. I hope you don't either. And I hope in the church we extend the love of God in the way that God does. Doesn't mean that he condones anything. Just means that when we don't let the world decide how we're going to think about people, we let the cross of Jesus Christ be the determining factor. And in so doing, we offer people something the world can't give them. That's true reconciliation. Till next time, friends, God bless.